Okay, so wait, I felt really cool because in my work life, sometimes people ask me to like speak on panels or like do podcasts or whatever. And this guy asked me to do this like podcast and he used Zencaster. And I gotta tell you, I felt so fucking cool. I was like, how's my audio? Okay, how do you edit? Okay, so how do you want to do intros? And then I asked him, I go, how do we line it up? And the guy was like, and I'm like, do you do a clap? Do you do a snap? Do we gotta say something? And he was just like, oh. I was just like, sorry, I've been doing this for 2 years. I didn't tell him? No, I wasn't going to tell him like my this. But it was really funny. I felt very podcast confident, and I thought you'd get a kick out of that.
I love that.
Yeah, it was also like 20 minutes, and the whole reason they do it, they like interview experts in the field to then, after it's done, his sales pitch was like, well, since you did something for us, we want to do something for you, so you get a free consultation to work with us. I was like, so I had to like hire your company. But I also was like, well, I kind of figured you'd want something, and I get it. But I laughed because I was like, what are you doing for me? That sounds like I have to do work.
Yeah. Sounds like I have to pay money. That's the worst.
So I was like, I'll have a meeting with my boss in 2 months. Bye. Oh my god.
All right, maybe it's good you didn't give him our podcast then.
Yes, exactly.
We down.
Sisters who've seen it. We are the sisters who've seen it. Sisters, shooby-dooby-doo-wop. Sisters, shooby-dooby-doo-wop. Sisters. Sisters who've seen it.
Hello.
Hello there.
Dun, dun, dun. Dun, 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 dun.
Ta-da! Who is that famous musician, Kate?
John Williams!
John Williams makes or breaks films. Hire him. How old is he? He's old.
Hire him. When they did the Superman, I don't know if we call it a remake, but the like newer Superman with Henry Cavill. Did you ever see that?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, it's like whatever. It wasn't John Williams, and I think he's like still kicking. Is he alive? Am I wrong?
John, we love you, and
hello?
I am not
Do you listen?
just typing and Googling if you're alive. You're alive! He's alive!
Oh! Yeah, so he did not do the music for the remake. Hans Zimmer did, and that's a connection, and wow. We love our composers.
Kate, he's 90 years old. Give this man a smooch.
Oh.
Well, who are we? Let's tell John Williams who we are.
Wow! John Williams, because we know you're listening. All right, listeners. So we are the Sisters Who've Seen It, the podcast where two sisters who are not movie critics look back on some of our favorites throughout the years through a psychological, ethical, and familial lens. I'm Katie.
I'm Bridget.
And trying to find a line. Okay, that's not good. The line that I found was when Lex Luther says spared no expense, and that's also from Jurassic Park, so I don't know if that's the best line for me to be quoting.
Wow!
Yeah.
It's a bird! It's a plane! It's...
Superman! Okay, so I have a question.
Well, that's why we're here, Kate.
This movie's called Superman?
I had Superman : the
movie? Okay. I got very confused when I was trying to find this, and then that's what it was called when I saw it, and I got confused, because I didn't think that's how IMDb had it listed. But what do I know?
I will tell you, when I searched the multiple streaming platforms that I pay for, there are way too many Supermans.
Oh, those crazy amount.
TVs, movies, remakes, old ones, new ones. Folks, this is the 1978 version, the original with Christopher Reeve, who is a hunk.
Oh, Roush.
What a hunky hunk, huh?
He's got the jawline.
Ooh.
It's really
I'll tell ya. But this is a long movie, Kate, and I think
my God.
I know it's my turn to do the synopsis, right?
I'm excited about that. I don't have to do that.
Well,
this
I
one.
feel like this movie was very long.
Yeah.
2 hours and 23 minutes, thinking they're
Ow.
like Black Panther. And I'm going to try to do a shorter synopsis because I think we both agreed that the plot isn't actually that complicated. It's just all the extra stuff. So let's see how I do.
So you don't want to describe Superman and Lois Lane flying for 10 minutes? You don't know? You think that's weird and a waste of time and my time?
I might have forwarded some of it. Some of it, not all of it. Listeners, we're authentic.
That's when I was doing my Facebook checks, and I'm like, anyway.
So, as I start with all of these, the one sentence line is director Richard Donner brings the legendary character Superman to the big screen with Golden Globe nominee Christopher Reeve as the Man of Steel.
Okay.
Doesn't tell you anything about the movie, but I thought that was great.
Yeah, it's like, I know about Richard Donner, I know about Christopher Reeve.
Here's what I think most people know about Superman. He's got superpowers, he's strong, he flies, he kind of hides by day, there's something with a telephone booth, and then he rips off and he's got his little spandex costume and a cape. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Saves people from crime. But what I bet you didn't know, Kate, is the planet Krypton is where he's from, which is in a faraway galaxy. Is that the name of the... You're giving me a face.
It is. I mean, I did know that, but go on. You're doing great.
All right. Okay.
So sorry.
So, Krypton, where Marlon Brando is his father, and I gotta tell you, I'm gonna chunk this, that we have alien dads, Earth dads, and then we have alien ghost dads.
Ooh. Yeah, they're like Mufasa.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, Marlon Brando, his alien dad, realizes with his little bebe that, oh boy, our planet is about to be destroyed. And instead of us saving the whole family, we're just gonna save the baby, and we're gonna send it off totally by itself in this crystal spaceship, and it's gonna somehow grow up and end up on Earth, and even though it's going to be way superior than everybody on Earth, you know, that's where we're gonna send him, and he's actually not allowed to use any of his powers, and I guess his dad loves him.
Yeah.
Edit in crickets. Okay? I'll also tell you that when that little crystal spaceship flew off from Krypton, it kind of looked like the little COVID symbol, and it freaked me out. Did you think about it?
Is that where COVID came from? Quick, write a Reddit thread about it. Oh no.
So then he lands as a baby in, are we going to say Kansas, Oklahoma? I mean, I'm sorry, I'm being
Fuck if I know.
stereotypical, but some farm, middle of nowhere land.
It's called Smallville.
Smallville! So then, these two older folks, a man and wife, they see this ship and they say, what the heck is happening? There's a big burnt thing in the farm, and a little toddler pops out, and they think that it is totally appropriate to just adopt it.
Adopt/kidnap.
Kidnap. That's weird. We'll talk about that. But then they raise him as their own, and they know about his powers because they kind of know he's an alien, and, you know, they just wanted a bebe so bad that they just rolled with it. So, like most, or pretty much all superhero movies, a parent dies, which then changes the arc of Clark, who is the bebe with special alien powers.
This is rhyming. This is a nice poem.
Wow, I didn't even know I was
Arc
doing that.
and Clark. That's the only rhyme you had, but
okay,
I was feeling it.
So then Clark went to Noah's Ark, so at 18, after his dad dies, he says, Mom, I gotta go. I gotta fly. No pun intended. And she's like, I knew this day would come, my alien baby. Go off and do your thing. Don't forget me. And he goes, okay, Mom, I won't. Bye.
And he goes, bye forever, because we'll never see you again in this movie.
And then he does what I think most people from Kansas should do. He heads out hightail to New York City. When he gets to New York City, he gets a job as a journalist, photographer, like, bitch intern.
Wow.
and he's working there, and he's kind of like, he keeps thinking about, like, it would be nice to show my powers. I don't know. And he starts to really kind of noodle on it, and then eventually he decides that, you know what? I am going to use my powers. Ooh, I forgot about the part where he tries to hide the kryptonite that could destroy him. Whatever. We'll get to that part.
Okay.
The piece of, the green piece of kryptonite.
Was that kryptonite, or was that just a magic crystal that made Marlon Brando appear?
So Krypton, the planet, is with all of these crystals. And because the people are on that planet, they don't have superpowers on the planet because kryptonite suppresses their superpowers. And that's why he had to throw that away, because then that suppresses his superpowers when he's away. And when it like hangs on his neck, that's why he doesn't have any powers. Did you follow?
I didn't realize that. Was that my checking Facebook break moment? Oh no. Wait, I just thought it was a magic green crystal that he then like threw, and then Marlon Brando's like, and now I'm here. And I was like, what? I don't know.
No.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so he throws that away, and basically he tries to live a normal life, but he kind of slowly is figuring out his superhero self, and all the while you have to have a villain, because you can't have a superhero without a villain, and this villain is the epic Gene Hackman, who is Lex Luther. And Kate, I read that he did not want to shave his head, so they put in a weird plot about him wearing wigs.
I hated all of it. Nobody liked it.
I've never laughed harder. So basically, Lex Luthor is trying to destroy California, it seems like, and create his own new California and create all these scenarios that kill people, and Superman tries to save them. And then you basically get 2/3 of the movie of him flying, saving people, criminals. And if you've watched any other superhero movie, which Katie and I have, it is where all the other plots are from. Every plot from every superhero movie you could get from this 1978 film. And he saves the day in the end, because I can't go into all of them. It's too long.
Too much. 2.5 hours. Too much.
I think the coolest one is he is so strong that he can reverse Earth's orbit to time travel.
Wow.
That was pretty cool.
Is that science? Can we get Neil deGrasse Tyson on here real quick to...
Oh my god. Neil, come on.
Now, sir. Somebody call him.
Our sister Mary might know him. So, yeah, but I think all in all, he saves the day, and he's dreamy doing it, and this is a staple. If you like superhero films, you gotta go back to this one and see where it all comes from. And there's so many other sprinkle fun facts that I learned, Kate, and I think we'll have to touch on them when we get there.
I love it.
That was less of a synopsis, more of a chat. That was a fireside chat.
I'm into it.
Okay.
It's great.
Okay.
And, Superman saves his day, or the world, or, I don't know, California. I'm not really sure, but stuff gets saved.
Yeah.
Although I did feel like this movie had a pretty big death count.
Huge.
Like in the beginning, I felt like everybody around me was dying.
So many people. A whole planet, Kate. A whole planet died.
And again, did I need to see 5 straight minutes of people being murdered on Krypton?
No.
Probably not, but we saw it.
And the COVID baby was saved as it flew away.
Okay, when that flew away though, like I knew it was flying away, but I thought it was gonna go like fast, and it took so fucking long. And then when it finally got to the ceiling and it exploded, I was like, okay, what? I am lost.
Actually, that's something to tell people. So I said this to you before we started recording, that this movie is very long, but in 1970, people had way more patience, way more attention span. We don't have any anymore, so it's gonna be tough. Like, you gotta settle in. Maybe this is over a 2-day. It's not like it's that long, 2 hours and 23 minutes, but it feels long because of exactly what you said. There's so many scenes could have sped up.
Yeah, there's just parts that, like, there was so much time dedicated to it, and you're like, wait, I get it. Lois and frickin' Superman are flying. Why do I have to watch them fly for 8 hours? And then why do I need to hear Lois do a weird internal poem monologue in her head that nobody likes? I don't get it.
You know who we should ask, Kate? Our father, because he recommended this, and knowing his pace of life, this is very much a dad pick. This is take it easy. I want to see something cool. Saves the day. That's his style. That's his pace. Slow and steady.
All right, let's get into it, because we start off with Tron-esque credits, and I really wish I took an edible before I was watching these credits, because I think I would have been less annoyed at how long they went on for.
Whoa. With your Reddit threads and the rise of psychedelics, this is the longest credit intro that is not Star Wars. It was unbelievable how long it was.
So
I'm
long.
with you. Like, the PowerPoint font, man, if I wanted to, like, really lull a client, I'd be like, type 1, and it would have the title go as long as this. And I'd be like, so, everybody awake? Continue.
Yeah.
and then how about that kid narrator? What'd you think of that?
Wait, what? I
He was
blacked
like,
out. What did he
the
say?
city of Metropolis was during the
Oh my God.
And newspaper held the truth.
I was so
like, what
confused.
the fuck is happening?
My mind immediately went to Moulin Rouge, and I was like, is a really hyperactive music conductor about to walk out in front of this stage? But no, we just get comic book exposition, which I didn't really get because we end up learning all that stuff anyway in the movie.
Okay, so one of the things that I think made this movie long and also made this movie, and I'm going to give credit to my husband James, campy. I've read that the director wanted it to be more serious, but the producers wanted it to be like silly and campy, and that is how the comic books are written, like way back in the day. So I feel like they wanted to say, like, this is from a comic book, we have to kind of reference it, and this is kind of like why we're having a kid and being silly, I guess, because kids read comic books. But this whole movie was back and forth between serious, silly, serious, silly.
Yeah.
And, I mean, we talk about Lois Lane's underwear being pink. My God.
And then she does a weird monologue, which, okay, we'll get to. I'm sorry to bring it up again.
Wow.
Now
Okay,
we're in space, and Krypton, and Marlon Brando. He's not the Godfather.
Marlon Brando, who lost his mind later in life, got $14 million for 10 minutes on this film. Wait.
What? That's like $1 million a minute.
Wait, Kate. And then refused to memorize his lines, so they had to write it on the baby's diaper. Wait, I have more. And then felt that wasn't enough money, so he sued Warner Brothers for $50 million.
Did he win?
No.
Oh my God.
So Alien Dad lost his fucking mind.
Was that his real hair? Like the crazy white Albert Einstein hair?
I don't think so.
I believe it. Okay. Well, okay, here's me being honest right now. I don't think I've ever before this seen this entire movie before. I knew parts of it. So I knew about General Zod because that's like a famous Superman villain who that's what we start off with. So in my head, I was like, oh yeah, we're going to get more General Zod like coming and fighting Superman. But then we don't because he literally gets banished and then he's gone and you're like, okay, bye.
In like a piece of glass, and then we never see him again.
I think that's supposed to be the Phantom Zone, which I only really know about because of the Lego Batman movie.
I'm sorry, that just sounded like we were at a Dave and Buster's, and you're like, do you want to go to the Phantom Zone? Like, what? Katie?
With our Lego Batman figure.
What just happened? I just blacked out.
It's like a purgatory, but in space, but then you can also leave it. I don't know. He's in a mirror. But he's not fucking important. Wow. So again, to me, I'm kind of like, wait. Why did we start with these people that disappear forever? I don't know.
Yeah, why didn't we get introduced to Lex Luther, right?
I don't fucking know. I have no clue. It was really confusing, but I guess Marlon Brando, needed more minutes so he could get his millions of dollars per minute.
But he kind of tries to tell the leaders of the planet, like, hey, I think we're gonna die. And they're like, no, we'll be fine. And then they all die.
Yeah.
Maybe it really was COVID. Okay. I'm sorry.
Shit. COVID was a giant red space cloud that caused our planet to implode.
It's serious.
I mean, it is a little kind of COVID-esque where you have someone who's like, I'm an expert in the field and I know what horrible things are coming. And everyone's like, shut up, you. And then he's like, wah. And then everyone dies.
And he's like, I'm going to send my baby off to tell others.
All right. How old do we think Marlon Brando and the mom were supposed to be? Because they...
Old.
I put 60. Put 60. Why do we have a baby when we're 60? What do I
don't know. And then, again, Clark gets fucked. He can't go to Earth and get a young 20-something parent. He gets more old parents.
Oh my
God,
What's that
about?
They were fucking old. And I was like, wait, is this correct? Is it I don't know about it. Also, I fucking hated how the little baby was naked and we see full frontal. I don't like it.
Why did we have to see a little toddler's penis?
We didn't. Nobody needed to. At all. That's honestly too much.
Also, I kept thinking, did they hire a scientist to tell us from this fake planet to Earth how much this baby would grow? Because it goes in as a baby and then it slowly grows into a toddler. And I'm I don't understand any of that besides it was a long time. I don't get
They do talk about this later in the movie because there's a lot of times in the movie where Marlon Brando's voice just starts talking and you're like, what? Where is that coming from? And you don't see Marlon Brando, but he's talking and he's giving you a lot of exposition, and then you're like, oh god, now I have to pay attention again. And one of the things he says at some point is he says, when you travel between Earth and Krypton, it takes 3 Earth years. So that kid was, I think, supposed to be 3 years old.
Oh.
But like, I didn't learn that till an hour in the movie or more, I think.
Well, and now as you're saying it, I'm realizing Marlon Brando had to be Mufasa because he didn't want to remember his lines, so he had to just like read from paper. What an asshole.
They were like, just read this paper and we'll record your voice and then edit it in some clouds because Lion King hasn't been invented yet, so we can do this. It's fine.
He's like, I'll use my iPhone at home and I'm not getting changed. And you're like, Marlon.
Wire me my money, damn it. Okay. Yeah, so naked toddler, the grandma is, I don't know if we call her grandma, Clark's mom, whatever.
Martha.
This is a note I made. If you want to play a drinking game while you watch this movie, you are going to take a sip every time the name Martha is said, because that's the name of Clark Kent's Earth mom. And in this one scene, I counted, the grandpa dad says the word Martha like 6 times. Like he doesn't know pronouns. He's just like, Martha, Martha, what are you doing? Martha, what are you talking about? Did you hear me, Martha? Look over there, Martha. I was like, shut up! What? We get it. Her name's Martha. Oh my god.
I'm just gonna make up a story that like the actors that were supposed to do that like got sick and they went to a community theater and took 2 random people off the street. Because she literally was like, don't change that tire. Your heart's not good. Oh, I've always wanted a baby. And here it is. We could say it's my cousin's. Nobody will ask questions. I was like, what in the fuck is happening?
I felt that way in the scene where Clark is standing by himself in a field, and then this frail 80-year-old woman walks 8 miles in a cornfield to go find him. And it was
like her hair got white walking there.
Yeah. Yes. And it was just the most awkwardly acted scene where he's like, I gotta go. And she's like, I know. I knew this would happen. And you're like, what? Oh, Jesus, Christmas. Yeah, it was weird. And even the scene when the dad dies, I didn't realize he was dead. It was so dramatic. I thought he just was having a heart attack, and then we'd have like, oh, wow, what an awakening. But no, that fucker died. He did. He's out.
He was out.
He's gone.
But like, let's face it, he lived another 18 years with basically looking exactly the same, which I was like, I mean, who does your skin?
Yeah, he didn't get the gray hair. What the fuck?
Okay,
Marlon Brando didn't want to share the white wig or something. Whatever.
Well, I'll tell you this, Clark, we literally see it as a little toddler has balls because he also lifts the car, and that's how they learn he's an alien baby.
I thought you were making a reference to the toddler being naked, and I was like, I hate that so much, Bridget, but now I understand.
Yeah, and then they both, in my opinion, don't give an appropriate reaction. They look at a toddler holding up the car, and then turn around to the like spaceship in the field, and then they're like, oh, he's an alien.
Yep.
Someone help the toddler. He doesn't need to lift the car.
He needs pants, okay? He needs clothing. His parents should have gave him clothing.
Oh my god. But we see what I feel like is a montage of him growing up and dealing with high school and football and girls and bullies in 2 minutes.
What did you think of when he was running next to the train that everybody saw him doing?
Here's my line, Kate. It really wouldn't have been so bad if he wasn't wearing khakis.
The chafing alone, you know, you can't escape
They were
that.
short, they were pleated. I was like, I cannot with this. But that was, I mean, it is a 1978 film, like, but it was so cheesy. His little legs trying to run that fast, I can't. It was so funny.
It was just, I feel like they made him, like, run weird, and then they sped it up, and I was like, why couldn't he run normal then you speed it up? Like, it seemed like a cartoon character. I swear to God, like, if you watch that scene again, and you watch it slower, like, he looks like a stick figure run. I can't describe it.
It's Roadrunner. It was cheesy.
Confused. But I did write a line in here where, so he runs comes home, and then the dad is like, ha, 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 you're such a show off. And he's like, Dad, Grandpa, whoever you are, so rude. And then he goes, is it showing off when someone is doing something they're capable of doing? And I was like,
yeah, Earth Dad.
Good question, Clark. And then we never really answer that, and we just move on. You're like, all right, fine. And then the dad goes on about being like, you're here for a reason. We don't know what it is, though. Anyway, now I'm gonna die. And you're like, what? Jesus. Okay.
And then he's like, I'm dead. And you're like, oh, God, come on.
Literally died. I cannot. And right after this is when it turns into a horror movie where Clark wakes up alone in the middle of the night like Signs, like with the aliens in the cornfield with Mel Gibson. And he hears weird noises from the barn. And we all need to learn that that is not the time you go into the barn, people.
No, it's not.
Wait till the daylight.
And you know what? Unlike the aliens from Signs, Clark wasn't there to like steal all of their resources, but 99.9% of the time aliens are, so you don't want to go outside.
Right, correct. You want to use wood to block the doors and stay inside and then hang out with a Culkin. So,
Yeah,
anyway... Yeah, so then this is where he has a weird conversation with his mom, grandma. She walked a long way out there. It was the worst. And then he walks a long way and he goes to the Antarctic or...
Kate, if I had a map and we pick Oklahoma, Kansas, insert some farmland, there is no Alaska, Iceland, there's Antarctica? What?
I don't know.
How did we get there?
Bridge.
Why did we get there?
No. And he only had a backpack and no jacket.
No jacket. And the whole point was him to throw kryptonite, which, by the way, he's very strong. He could have just done that from Kansas, okay? What's the point?
I think he could have.
What's the point?
Also, made a Dark Crystal reference here because I wrote the Crystal Shard when he threw it. And then it, I don't know, made a freaking ice castle.
The shard. Go back to that episode to
shard.
learn about the shard.
The shard. With a D, not a T. Yep. This is where we see Marlon Brando, and he's like, all right, let me talk for a while, because I earn millions of dollars per second, so blah, blah, blah. And he called it the Fortress of Solitude, which I wrote down, but then I don't think that ever comes up again.
No idea.
So.
No idea.
All right.
And then I thought to myself, you're telling me my alien dad ships me off to another planet and could have talked to me for 18 fucking years, but instead...
I think he could have.
We're 18 and now you're a ghost alien dad that can also talk to me?
Yes.
What kind of Beetlejuice shit is this?
It is some Beetlejuice shit, and I don't understand why I needed to do it in an ice castle, and I couldn't just like, I don't know, fucking look at the sky, because he's in the sky later, and I just don't know. He just appears, like, now he's just wherever.
I didn't like this either, and I thought it was like, eye-rolly, is he's like, I sent my only son. And I was like, ew, are you like God? I don't get it. Is he Jesus? I don't understand. It was weird.
He might be a Jesus metaphor, because he does die in the universe at one point, and then he gets resurrected. Whoa. Oh my god, he is Jesus. Damn it. Everyone's Jesus.
Wow.
Jesus.
Wow.
Okay, well, then from here, he goes to New York City. Why does he go to New York City? Why is he working for the Daily Planet newspaper? There's a lot of whys and no answers. So we never know.
Never know. Nope. Never know. And we see his like gear right away, his Superman gear. And you're like,
yeah,
where did the costume come from?
I think it just...
Who designed it?
Is it like part of his body on the inside, but then it comes on the outside?
Oh, you think it was like, it's like his skin?
No. I don't know what I'm saying.
Okay.
Made sense in my head, and then it came out, and I was like, I'm not sure about that anymore.
Wow. But I was like, wow, he's wearing some hipster glasses, and I don't hate it. He was hot.
Girl. Yeah, he's pretty styling, but he's like a nerd, LOL.
And he also gets treated like the bitch intern.
But I don't even think he's an intern. I think he's like an actual newspaper person, which, again, Vicky Vale, everybody. Can you just walk into newspaper office places and get jobs? Because
no
I don't
HR.
think that's how that goes. I feel like there's interviews, but I don't know things, so who knows? Don't know.
And we quickly get introduced to Lex Luther.
Yeah.
In a really weird way.
Wow.
With his little sidekick being chased by someone else to then hide underground, and then there's like a whole other cool underground subway mansion with like a pool. Like, what's happening down there?
I fucking love that indoor pool. I made so many notes about the indoor pool. I was like, I need to go here. Can somebody make this? Thank you. Do I want to go in a dusty, dirty subway to go in the pool? No, but...
Not a good front door. Not a good front door.
Give me an elevator and I'm there.
Yeah.
This was another part where I felt we get a murder. Like, this is like a Saw-level murder death trap.
It was
where
disgusting.
Some police officer thinks he's gonna, like, get into the secret hideout, and then Lex Luthor pushes him on a subway track, and he gets exploded, run over.
Yeah, it was dark.
What the fuck?
And then they giggled about it, and you're like, wow.
And then Lex Luthor's like, anyway, more important stuff. Let's talk real estate. And then this is another part where I think I kind of zoned out a little bit.
And why did he
myself
have,
went to the Phantom Zone a little bit.
And why did he have this, like, weird secretary with big boobs?
Because 70s, I think.
Ugh.
So, like, somewhere within here, we get our first... It's not, like, a Superman moment, but it's Clark Kent and Lois Lane are walking on the street, public. Bridge, you lived in New York City. Did you ever have times where you're walking and then a gun randomly materializes from an arm out of the alley that made you stop? Oh, weird.
No, and I'll tell you, Spider-Man just straight up ripped off this scene.
Yeah, this was very similar to the Mary Jane getting raped in an alley, or attempted.
But I don't know about you, Kate. No one's coming in to save me by grabbing a bullet with their bare hands.
Not yet, at least. There's still
time. Ooh,
I suppose. Well. But yeah, Lois Lane's like, I can take care of myself, bitch! And then Clark's like, oh my. Like, his, like, persona, I was a little confused by it.
Didn't he, like, kind of get handsy with her by accident? I hated it.
In the alley or
somewhere
else?
When they were, like, in the office, he, like, moved past her and, like, hit her butt or something.
I believe it.
And she was clearly friend-zoning him, and it was awkward.
I just don't know why he gave the Clark Kent personality to be that. Like, why couldn't you be, like, a nice guy but not, like, a bitch, you know? Like, a little
I
bit.
know, he was... Even him opening the drink, he's like, here, open this for me. And he's like, he, like, couldn't open it, and then it, like, spilled on him. I'm like, wait, why can't he pretend he has normal strength?
I don't know. That's what I mean. Or, like, be a normal person with conversation, and I don't...
I don't know, but then he gets like, okay, I grabbed a bullet in midair. I'm going to save everybody. And then all of a sudden, we're finding a jewelry thief on the side of a building?
That's one of the things. The real big reveal is when, again, Lois Lane, she's like, I'm going to ride in this helicopter. And I don't remember why this is happening. And then the helicopter, the guy's like, whoa, lost control. And then it just starts spinning like crazy. And then they almost fly off the building, but Superman saves them.
They were like
really
2 feet off the ground. It was dramatic. It was dramatic.
I'm not sure. I was like, can't we just jump out of the helicopter? Like, we're on ground. I'm confused.
I do not know. But he comes and saves the day, and... Okay, but imagine 1978, like, seeing this shot of him flying and, like, holding up a helicopter. I'm like, this is pretty cool. Like, I'm gonna give it props. Like, this is pretty awesome. And, I read this. This is a props to Christopher Reeve. When they shot him flying, which is, like, kind of this cool new thing, it looked really, really bad. Like, they didn't know why it was so bad. And then he, like, did research on, like, aerodynamics and was like, I need to put my hands, like, out and closer together, and I need to turn my body more because the way that, like, airflow would go, and it made him look more realistic flying. And
wow,
I kind of was like, he kind of looked realistic flying. I mean, I know the effects were a little old and cheesy, but I was like, this is cool. Now he's holding up a helicopter. Like, I'm here for it. I liked it.
I also liked how if he was, like, holding stuff in the air, like the helicopter, he wasn't, like, directly under it and it was above, because, like, I feel like that's what you would expect. He, like, held it, like, off to the side, like, boop, I got it. Like, he was, like, balancing, like, a little basketball on his finger, and I was like,
amazing.
That's fun.
It was fun. And then he literally was like, oh, this is fun. I'm just gonna wear this spandex all day, every day, and fight crime throughout Metropolis. And here we go.
And what he does, Bridge, which I have questions about for the legal system and anyone who works works at the Justice Department, who's listening to the podcast. How would you guys handle if a superhero just dropped off a villain in front of you and you're a local mall cop? Because I feel like that's what was happening a lot of the time, where I'm like, wait, are you sure that's the guy you want to give this person to? Because I don't think they're ready for that.
And they're all like the trope of like slobby, donut eating, like fat cops. And I just was like, guys, come on. And they're like, whoa, Superman, thanks for helping me. You know, it's like, okay.
So from here is also the whole newspaper, the Daily Planet. They're like, we gotta figure out who this guy is and blah, blah, blah. We need an interview. So then Clark Kent sets up a date with Lois Lane, but he's actually Superman. And then really on the date, he gives her an interview and she asks him questions, many of which were, in my opinion, sexual innuendos. And
Kate,
I'm not sure about it.
Kate, I don't know in 1978 how much journalists make, but to afford that motherfucking apartment, I mean...
Oh my god. It was insane.
How? Like,
I thought she was at a restaurant.
It was like a penthouse apartment.
She was like, I live here. I was like, bitch! Damn! What the fuck?
I mean, the planters alone on her patio are worth more than my house.
She had a lead planter, which we learned at one point, because that's why you couldn't see her underwear at first, LOL. But I was like, Jesus Christmas!
She
Where
was...
is this money? Did Marlon Brando pay for this? Because I gotta go. Goodness.
Is this Marlon Brando's apartment from his Superman money?
Probably.
Literally, I felt like this was cheesy. I mean, she was like, oh, what, do you, eat food? I was like, okay. I was like, you're not a high schooler. So, okay, they flirted. She loves him. He thinks she's hot. I mean, all right.
Well, Bridge, this is where we go flying for 15 minutes.
I'd like to pause because I'd like to tell you that this was my question for Herb.
What?
So, if anyone is going to date my sister Katie, and they
Jesus
do not take them flying above the clouds, okay, and wine and
Herb
dine.
is not Superman.
I'm telling you, he's got to work on it, okay?
Oh,
so I expect that level of dates. Herbie Herb, are you listening?
Herb can take me on a date riding a bulldozer or something, because, or he could have me swing from a he's gonna kill me because I don't remember any of the names of these things. You know, one of those things. Yeah.
From the construction thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was cool. Again, I think they wanted to really work all the guy's flying and special effects, and you're like, okay, move on. Like, it just got boring.
Okay, but Bridge. Who was the Bob in the 70s? Why were they allowed to put in a scene of an inner monologue of Lois Lane doing a weird poem that kind of sometimes rhymed, but I don't get it, where she's like, can you read my thoughts? La 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 la.
I don't.
Thoughts. And then at one point she goes, I wrote this down, she goes, you're just a friend from another star. Look at where we are. And I was like, what the fuck? What is this?
I can't.
So
It's terrible.
stupid.
It's terrible.
I hate it.
It was too much, and I was like, all right, move on.
This is right, but she comes up with the name Superman, and then the next day it's in the paper, and did you write down what the headline was for this?
Oh my god, tell me.
It's the worst. The headline is, I spent the night with Superman.
Ew!
Yeah! Gross.
You know what? Wait, have you heard the phrase, pick me girl?
No.
You've ever heard this phrase?
No.
I'm on TikTok, way too old, way too much.
Bridget! TikTok gig? What's happening?
And it's like, from my old lady understanding, it's like somebody that's like, oh no, I don't want that thing. And you're like, you really want that thing? So it's like, oh, that person's being like a pick me girl. Like, pick me. And I was like, Lois is the ultimate pick me girl.
Yo,
because
she totally fucking
she is so annoying. And
Yeah.
that headline, Kate, I can't.
Yeah, she's try hard.
But here we are, and thank God Gene Hackman comes in to make us laugh and keep us entertained, because he's like, hey, we're learning Superman's weaknesses, and you know what? Let's go steal a nuclear missile. I was like, damn!
I was so, confused about his motivation, because first I thought we were doing real estate. Then we're doing nuclear weapons. Then he's like, and on top of that, y'all, we're going for the big bucks. We're also gonna murder this person that we've never met and has never slighted us before. Let's do it! And you're like,
Not to mention,
what?
I'm gonna wear multiple wigs the entire time. I'm with you. Where's the origin story for Lex? Okay, what do we need to know about Lexi?
I didn't understand any of it. And then right away from that, we flip to like we're in, I don't know where we are in the country, and like cars are getting blown up and they're like stealing missiles or rerouting missiles, and then women get assaulted, and then the military's there. I don't know, Bridge. How did we do it?
Well, I think his logic was, I'm gonna blow up California and make my own so I can name different towns after me. Lex something, Lex this, Lex that. I was like, that's it? That's the whole point of this? And I really want to get this Superman out from the woodwork, so I'm gonna create like a horrible disaster, and that's how we're gonna find him. Like, god damn, Gene Hackman.
I mean, it was elaborate, and I really couldn't follow because I was like, I was getting a little sleepy.
At some point, I was like, is he in the Earth's crust? Like, what's that? Like, he started flying under the Earth to, like, stop an earthquake? I'm like, what in the world?
I believe that did happen, yes.
Are we
later
in
on,
magma?
it did. I don't even know. And then he tells Superman via high-pitched dog whistle that he's going to gas half the city, which that did remind me of Batman with the Smilex gas.
Mm-hmm.
So then he goes and finds Lex Luthor, but then he's like, LOL, I'm not gonna do that, but instead I'm gonna nuke places. Here's my entire plan. Don't look in this box. And then Superman is stupid. He looks in the box and it's kryptonite. And you're like, wow.
But who saves him but the big titty secretary?
She was bouncing all around.
I was like, she's like, will you save my mother first? And he's like, sure. She's like, okay. I'm like, what?
Because fucking Gene Hackman's like, there's 2 missiles. And Superman's like, what? You're sending one to California? Where's the other one going? And he goes, Hackensack, New Jersey. And they were like, why? And he was like, just cuz. I was like, fuck off, all right? I am over it. I am over everyone pooping on New Jersey. Get out of my fucking face.
Okay.
Hate everyone.
And then the kryptonite thing, which by the way, I thought would have been like a bigger part of the movie, was just like basically an oversized necklace that she took off. And I was like, that's it. That was the only way we tried to stop him. Okay. Yep. Then I think a bunch of writers got together and said, how do we show how strong Superman is? And they're like, have him save a plane. Have him save a train. Have him save an earthquake. Have him save a dam. Have him save a city. Oh my god. I was like, I
just kept writing in my notes. I was like, and Superman saves this. And then he saves that. He literally used his body as a train track.
My god, Katie. Wow. What? I mean, talk about cut.
Ow.
And
it's a back brace.
I'll tell you this. After it's all said and done, he totally pulled, I would argue, a Carrie from Sex and the City where he just needed to give Lois Lane CPR and did it, and she died.
You mean from the Sex and the City's new show that came out?
The new show.
Where she watches her husband die and doesn't do resuscitation. Yeah, we all saw it. Yep.
So then you're like, so you saved all these things, but not Lois. So now we're going to reverse the Earth's orbit.
Bridge.
And this, I was like, okay, this special effects is basically rewinding film. Like, that's what we did. We rewound film. And I thought the concept was really cool. And I'm sure it's from some comic book somewhere. And then they all go back to the beginning and he's like, hey man, watch out for that earthquake. And they're like, oh, cool.
And then the guy, Jimmy, who was like the photographer for the paper, is like, I'm here too. And then I wrote that he cock blocks. They were gonna go kiss, and then I don't even think they kissed. Do they ever kiss in this movie, Superman and Lois Lane, or no? I don't think they do.
When she dies, he kisses her, trying to like be like goodbye. Yeah, which is gross. Lots of women unconscious got kissed in this film.
People. Okay. And then Superman again is like, all right, instead of going through the justice system, I'm just gonna fly Lex Luthor and his henchman Otis into a random jail.
Wow.
And I'm not gonna call ahead of time, so hopefully everyone's awake and they can talk. And then the warden's like, good job, Superman. I was like,
oh
sir!
My god. So bizarre. Yeah, and then he takes off his wig, because this movie is all about Gene Hackman's wig. Wowie.
And the lesson was, don't be an annoying male actor. That's what we learned.
I mean, but like, I don't know, Kate. I mean, you said that Dad requested this, and it's been a while, but does he have anything to say about it?
Yes, he does. And in fact, I need you to check your email right now.
Baby.
It's been a minute. It's been a really long time, listeners, but I did get a dad quote.
Wow.
And if you are like, who the heck is your dad? It's our dad, but we used to include him on the podcast a lot more when I lived at home.
Wow. All right, Dad, I'm gonna play this in 3, 2, 1.
All right, Dad.
Yes.
It's been a while, but we have a movie this week that you might know of. In fact, you may or may not have recommended it for us to do.
Okay.
It is Superman.
Superman.
1978.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Okay, what did you think of that movie?
Well, I thought at the time it was pretty good.
Yeah, I thought it was good too.
I liked the characters in it, especially Gene Hackman. He was the villain.
Yep.
And that's about all I can give you when you give me like 2 minutes notice to come up with things.
I know, it's been a while. Okay, well, that's great. Just
All
wanted
right.
to let you know we were doing your movie.
Yeah. Let them know that Dad's still around, guys.
Yes, okay. Thank you.
Oh my God! Look at him talking to the listeners. Listeners,
So
you feel
dramatic.
honored.
I know.
Oh
So
my
funny.
God, he's still around. Get out of here.
Yep.
Oh my God. Wow, Kate, that is no easy feat. I'm impressed.
Yeah, so I don't think he remembered at all that he requested this movie. But
He clearly didn't.
fine.
Which was
It's
like
all
2 years
fine.
ago.
Yep.
Wowie, Kate.
Well, Bridge, what about you? Would you watch or don't watch this movie?
Definitely watch, and it's okay if you walk out of the room during the 17th flying scene.
And
You?
it's okay to check your Facebook if Lois Lane starts doing a weird monologue. And when Marlon Brando does monologues. And when the credits are happening. And a lot of other times. So, yeah, I agree. Give it a watch.
Yes. And I think if you're a big superhero fan and you really haven't gone back to watch the classics, a lot of movies, I think, stole some plot lines. Like, a lot.
Yeah.
And I think it's cool to go back and watch it. And at the time, I get it. Like, I think, I don't know, they did a good job. It just was long.
It was.
But Kate, it's that time.
Yay!
And I got a movie for you.
Oh my
This is not a listener pick.
Wow.
Because I get to do whatever I want.
Woo! Live your life!
But I know you're gonna like it.
Okay.
And I was inspired, and this is a little bit of a hint, by the music of this film.
Okay.
So that person did the music for this film too. Did
guys,
you get it? Okay. So, this is from 1982, an American
Yay.
science fiction film. Produced and directed by Steven Spielberg, the one and only E.T. the Extraterrestrial.
Oh, I thought it was Star Wars.
No.
Oh, yeah, you
Bing,
said. Oh my
bang,
God,
boom.
Bridge, you know what this means?
Drew Barrymore's a kid.
No. This means, and I'll spare the listeners right now, but this means when we record for that episode, I will happily tell you all about my many experiences riding the E.T. ride at Universal, because I think I rode that ride the most, and it is a trip. I will tell you that.
Wowie.
We love our alien movies.
And I just thought John Williams, and every scene, and I heard his music. I kept thinking about all his movies, and I was like, man, we haven't done E.T. How have we not done that?
Haven't.
Wow.
We have not. Oh, and then the new season of Stranger Things is coming out. I don't know when, but that makes me think of Stranger Things, and
yeah.
wow.
Wow, here we are. I'm getting better at these, aren't I?
Yeah. I really thought it was Star Wars, but I realized that I think that came out in the 70s too. Well, there's probably Return of the Jedi. Anyway,
Kate.
Bridge.
No, I got one for you first. I'm ready.
Bridge.
Okay. If her does not take you flying
Oh my God.
above the clouds for you to say an awkward poem, okay? Does he even love you?
Okay. If I did an awkward poem, he'd be like, "What's wrong with you?" Well, and Bridge.
Yeah.
Bridge.
Yeah,
Bridge.
I'm here.
If we were in the city, in the subway, and We had our bathing suits on. I would go find the underground indoor pool because it's really cool.
You're
and
telling
go
me
swimming.
there's no rats swimming in that pool? I don't believe
No,
it.
somehow it's very clean. It's really magical. So, yep, I would do that for you.
I would swim in the subway with you and Gene Hackman.
Yeah, me too.
That sounds fun. It sounds disgusting, unless you've seen this movie, folks, but it's clean.
Yeah, like Universal should... Was this a Universal movie? No, this wasn't. This was like Warner Brothers, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that Universal? No. That's like Six Flags. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm getting lost.
Wow.
Anyway, well, listeners, if you also would swim in that really cool underground pool, and if you would like to go flying with your significant other in the air, and if you think that Gene Hackman should have fucking shaved his head or wore a bald cap like a normal person, you should write us a review.
Hey! Nailed that.
We love reviews. We love written reviews. You can review us on Apple Podcasts, along with some other podcasting apps. We also have a website, sisterswhoseenit.com. If you scroll down on the main page, there is a form you can fill out to request a movie. So this movie was a impromptu listener pick by our father. Did he remember that he picked it? No, but it's fine. Because if you pick something, we'll remember it. And Bridge, what else can they do on our website?
They can buy us coffee, and with the amount of flying and extra additional scenes, you might also need coffee to watch this film.
Yeah.
But we do too, because then we talk about it. So we watch it, we talk about it, and then Katie edits it. So we need lots of coffee, and coffee means money, and money means love. Well, anyways.
If Marlon Brando can get $15,000 for 2 minutes of whatever, we should get money for... How long is this recording? Over an hour of whatever. So there. So there. Here. All right, so check all that out, listeners, and we hope to hear from you. All right, well, we'll see y'all next week for E.T. : The Extraterrestrial. Is that how that title is? Now I'm questioning it.
We'll find out next week. But if you look up in the sky and you think it's a bird or you think it's a plane, it's not. It's Katie and Herb flying through the clouds and Superman!
I'm sorry.
Okay, I can't.
All right, I love you.
I love you.
Love you. Bye-bye.
Love you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to Sisters Who Seen It. You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Check out our website at sisterswhoseenit.com, where you can email us, request movies to be reviewed, and keep up to date with all things sisters. Also, make sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. See you next week.